Chapter 12. Caught in Love. The room was dim. Soft shadows danced along the walls. Taeyoung paced back and forth, restless, irritated, her arms crossed tightly over her chest. Doesn't he know I can't control my hunger? Her fingers moved to her forehead, rubbing slowly. Oh, right. I forgot he lost his memories about me. But why did he lie about why we were late? Her expression tightened again, frustration rising. Suddenly, she dropped onto the bed, dramatically. The mattress sank beneath her weight. Ugh, understanding Jungkook is too difficult. But understanding Cookie was always easy. She stared at the ceiling, lost in thoughts. Then a buzz. Her phone vibrated beside her. The screen lit up, a private chat notification. She turned her head, reached for it, unlocked, eyes scanning. Kirito, how was her first day? A small smile appeared on her lips. Not bad. How was her day? Boring, right? But have to work. Another message popped up. For family. Taeyoung rolled her eyes, playfully. Yeah. She adjusted her position, now lying comfortably, eyes focused on the screen. Tell me what happened in office today. Her smile widened. Her fingers began moving faster, excited. She typed and typed, telling him everything, the challenge, the lecture, and that moment, the near accident. Meeting Min Yoongi, her expressions shifted as she typed. Then, a reply. Was he trying Anu? She blinked, confused, brows furrowed. Her fingers moved quickly again. You mean flirting with me? Shh, no way. Why would someone flirt with a stranger and such a boring person? You said he already knew you, so it's probably possible. Her expression changed, slight frown forming. I must stay away from him. Almost immediate, nice. Her eyes narrowed. What's with your replies, huh? Nice, you weren't like this before. You have changed. Seconds passing, her gaze didn't leave the screen. Then a message appeared. Just tired. She stared at it, unconvinced. Meanwhile, in another room somewhere, a man sat in front of his laptop. The screen glowed, but his eyes weren't on it. His phone rested in his hand. A faint smile touched his lips. I changed a long time ago. You just noticed it now. The room was quiet. Still, Jungkook sat on his bed, frozen, his gaze fixed on the table ahead, distant, lost, his mind drifting back to dinner. Moments replaying like a slow, looping film. Him stealing glances at Taehyung, again and again, a soft smile forming on his lips, without him even realizing it. No one noticed, no one saw. Back to the present, a sharp breath. Jungkook rubbed his face, trying to shake it off. Why was I acting so strange? Was I really looking at her like that? No, that's impossible. But I did it. His hands dropped, his brows pulled together, thinking deeper. Even when I was taking decision about closing the company, I only reacted to her words, not anyone else's. Was I acting like a child? He shook his head. No, I'm a grown man now. But, unconsciously, his lips formed a small baby pout, a contradiction he didn't even notice. But I still got angry at her, and even decided to close the company I worked so hard to build. Many people have told me the same thing before, but I never thought of quitting. Then why did I agree when she said it? He leaned forward, elbows on knees, eyes intense. Why does every single word she says affect me so much? Whoa! Frustration burst out. His hand ran through his hair roughly, messing it further. What is happening to me? And now I know why Tae said she hated me that day. But why did she say the same thing in the past too? His eyes narrowed. He remembered what Suga had told him, a flicker of realization. I need to find out the truth. Abruptly, he stood up, determined. First, I should check if I wrote any other diaries. Looking around his room, maybe there's something important written in one of them. His eyes scanned the room, searching. I've already written 3 or 4 diaries, but maybe there's another one that she doesn't know about. He moved toward the shelves, and then the search began. Drawers opened, books pulled out, boxes dragged and checked, restless movements, desperation building, clothes thrown aside, papers slipping to the floor, books scattering everywhere, the room slowly turning into chaos. But Jungkook didn't notice, didn't care. His mind locked onto one thing, finding it, finding the truth. He kept searching, relentless, because somewhere inside those hidden pages there might be a memory, a piece of his past that he had forgotten. Morning light filled the dining area. Namjin, Jhope, and Taehyung sat at the table, breakfast in front of them. Jin stood nearby, her eyes lifted toward the stairs. Why hasn't Jungkook come down yet? Time passed, 15 minutes, ticking slowly. By then, Namjin and Jhope had finished eating. They stood, ready to leave. Before stepping out, Namjin turned to Taehyung. Wait for Jungkook and go to the company with him. And just like that, they left. Taehyung remained seated, waiting. Her eyes drifted back to the stairs. Why is he so late today? A hint of concern. She turned toward her aunts. Did something happen? Jin suddenly spoke. He didn't come to your room last night. Did he? Taeyang blinked, confused. No. And then, footsteps. Slow. Heavy. All three turned toward the stairs. Jungkook appeared. At the top, he began walking down. The moment they saw him, they froze. He was dressed in his office suit, perfectly formal, but his appearance told a different story. Dark circles under his eyes, swollen lids, dry, exhausted, completely drained. He yawned loudly. Taeyoung, Jin, and Jisoo couldn't hold it in. Soft giggles escaped. Jin, however, her worry remained. Kook, what happened to you? Jungkook rolled his neck. Just tired. He reached the table, dropped his bag right on top of it, casually, almost carelessly. The three women stared at him, as if he was something unusual. Jungkook sat down, started eating, slowly, sleep clinging to him. His eyes kept closing, in between bites, his head dropping forward again and again, as if he could fall asleep any second. Taeyoung watched, amused. She covered her mouth, holding back laughter. This is crazy. A quiet chuckle escaped. Minutes passed. Somehow, Jungkook finished eating, barely holding himself up, and just as he tried to stand, Taeyoung moved. Quick, she grabbed his arm, supporting him. Without a word, she guided him outside. Step by step, they walked together toward the car. Taeyoung opened the door, carefully made him sit inside. Then she walked around to the driver's seat, got in, hands on the wheel, and this time, Taeyoung drove. The car moved forward, heading toward the company. A cozy coffee shop, soft chatter, light music in the background. At a small table, 2 girls, 1 boy. The girls happily sipped their bubble tea, relaxed, enjoying the moment. Suddenly, one of the girls winced, her face scrunched up. Ah, it's too hot. Sinan, we should order ice cream. The other girl stiffened slightly, her brows pulled together. Don't call me that in public. The first girl simply shrugged, carefree, unbothered. Hey, no one will recognize you. Nowadays, very few people play that game anyway. The boy sitting across them finally leaned forward, confusion written all over his face. Can you two please tell me why you asked me to take leave from my job today? I had an important meeting with a client. The 2 girls exchanged a glance, then a mischievous wink. One of them leaned forward, eyes sparkling with excitement. We are going to the Kim residence. The boy froze, then nearly choked. Why? And even if we wanted to go there, we could go on Saturday or Sunday. Sinon leaned closer, slow, deliberate. You are going. Tell Mr. Kim about feelings. What? Heads turned. Nearby tables looked over, the sudden outburst breaking the calm. Both girls immediately smiled apologetically, awkward light, as if silently saying, he's a little dumb. Please forgive him. Then the first girl sighed, overly dramatic. Hey, Sojun, when are you going to stop hiding your feelings for her? Sinon crossed her arms. At least tell her father. He will understand you. I can bet on that. Sojun groaned, frustrated. Why are you always betting on everything? Because of you, Tae has also become like that. The first girl smirked, teasing, eyes glinting. Oh, caring about her? Sojun panicked instantly, flustered. I'm not going anywhere. But it was too late. Both girls stood up at the same time. In sync, they grabbed his arms. Oh, come on, don't act like a shy girl. Let's go. Sojun resisted, protested, but useless. They dragged him out of the coffee shop, step by step, ignoring his struggle. Meanwhile, in the car, Taeyoung sat behind the wheel. Beside her, Jungkook, slumped in the passenger seat, his head leaned against the window, eyes half closed, heavy with sleep. Every few seconds, his head dropped forward, then jerked back up, again and again. Taeyoung glanced at him, a brief look. Idiot. A few seconds passed, then, slowly, Jungkook tilted his head toward her, eyes still closed, voice low, sleepy, barely awake. Bear. Taeyoung's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Instantly, her eyes widened, a flicker of disbelief. For a moment, she thought she misheard. Slowly, she turned her head, looked at him. He was still half asleep, unaware, his head slightly leaned toward her side. Bear, stop talking so much. Her heartbeat quickened. Her mind rushed back to their childhood, memories flashing, him calling her that name, again and again. Her grip tightened further. Did he remember? She quickly looked at him again, but Jungkook only shifted slightly, still lost in sleep. Taeyoung blinked. Jungkook? He jerked upright, startled. Huh? What? This is not your bedroom. Sit properly. Jik rubbed his eyes, still groggy. Why are you shouting early in the morning? Taeyoung turned her gaze forward, composed, pretending nothing happened. She glanced at him once more. Quick. Curious. Kooky, what exactly do you remember? The entire day passed in a blur for Taeyoung. Her mind stuck, looping, repeating that one moment, that one word, bear. Every memory bringing a new emotion, hope, confusion, doubt. She couldn't understand it, couldn't find an answer. On the other side, Jungkook looked completely drained, exhaustion visible in every movement. Before his meetings even began, Minhyuk stepped in, practically forcing him to rest, because at any moment, Jungkook looked like he might collapse. Evening time, the sky dimmed, soft orange fading into blue. Inside the car, Jungkook held the steering wheel, driving smoothly. Beside him, Taehyung sat still. Her fingers nervously played with the edge of her sleeve, twisting it, releasing it, twisting again, her thoughts restless. The same question, circling her mind all day. She glanced at him, then away, then back again, a deep breath, gathering courage. Did you remember something? From Jungkook briefly turned his head, a quick glance, his brows slightly furrowed. What are you talking about? Her confidence shattered instantly. Her lips pressed together, eyes lowering. She turned her face toward the window, avoiding him. In the morning, you paused, then she shook her head lightly. Never mind. Her voice softened, fading. Jungkook looked at her, a moment longer, confusion in his eyes. But he said nothing, didn't ask further. The silence returned. Days passed. Taehyung stood in front of the employees, teaching, her voice firm, her expression strict. Yet, her methods interesting, engaging. The staff listened, learned, improved, little by little. Sundays, a different scene. Taehyung at Jimin's home. The two sat together, teacups in their hands, steam rising slowly, soft conversations filling the room. One day, Taehyung opened up, shared a part of her past. Jimin listened, carefully, and when the truth settled, shock crossed her face. She stayed quiet for a moment, processing. Jimin didn't know about the accident. Not until Taehyung mentioned it. Meanwhile, Jungkook's world felt stranger each day. Every time he saw Taehyung, standing outside his office, walking through the corridor, something inside him reacted, uncontrollably. Sometimes they would pass each other just a moment, a glance, and Jungkook would find himself smiling, softly, secretly, without understanding why. Confusion grew. He tried to figure it out. What was happening to him? Why her? More than once, he thought about it, telling someone. His father? His uncle? Seeking answers. But every time he imagined the conversation, the words explanations, embarrassment took over, and he dropped the idea. One day, inside the office, Jungkook stood in front of Taehyung, his expression calmer, more certain. I got my first big client because of your help. Taehyung listened. Her eyes flickered for a moment. Genuine happiness rising inside her. But she hid it perfectly. Her arms crossed, confidence returning. Just wait. I know I can't be defeated by anyone. Jungkook smiled, at her words, at her attitude, but deep inside, a small sadness lingered, unnoticed. Yoonji. He began appearing more often, closer, whenever he got the chance, near Taehyung, trying to talk, to engage. But Taehyung avoided him, effortlessly, every time, without fail. Jungkook noticed, again and again, and each time a small smile formed on his lips. However, there was something else. Whenever Yoonji looked at Jungkook, his expression changed, different, hard to read, almost hidden. Jungkook had seen it, more than once. One day, from a distance, watching Yoonji talk to Taehyung again, Jungkook's brows pulled together, a slight irritation rising. He muttered under his breath, "Why is he so sticky to her?" 2 weeks later, the corridor was quiet, dim lights casting soft shadows along the walls. Jungkook stood near the door of his room, still, his phone in his hand, his eyes pretending to focus on the screen. But they kept drifting, again and again, toward the closed door across the hallway, Taehyung's room. He shifted his weight, pacing slowly, back and forth, waiting, silently. Then, Taehyung appeared at the end of the hallway. Jungkook instantly straightened, his posture stiffening, trying to act normal, casual. But the moment his eyes landed on her, a small smile formed, uncontrolled, natural. Taehyung walked forward, calm, unaware. She reached her door, unlocked it, and stepped inside. The door closed behind her. A few minutes passed. Jungkook moved, slowly, carefully, closer to his doorway. He leaned slightly, glanced toward her room again, her door slightly open. Inside, Taehyung stepped out of the shower, her hair still wet, drops of water sliding down slowly. She stood near the mirror, a towel in her hands, gently drying her hair, soft movements, unhurried. From across the corridor, Jungkook watched, silent, still. Another soft smile appeared on his face. He leaned against the doorframe, relaxed, lost in the moment. "She is beautiful," his voice low, almost a whisper. For a moment, he simply watched her, eyes tracing her reflection. Then a thought sparked. He pushed himself off the frame, turned, walked inside his room. He moved to one of his drawers, opened it, pulled out an art set, a sketchbook. He walked to his desk, sat down quietly, his gaze lifted again, toward her room, toward her. His pencil touched the paper, softly, gently, and then, line by line, he began, sketching. His eyes moved, back and forth, from the paper to Taehyung, from Taehyung to the paper. Careful strokes, precise, natural. A strange calm settled inside him, peaceful, deep, as if, somewhere within him, his hands remembered her better than his own mind did. Time passed unnoticed. The sketch slowly came to life. Finally, he stopped, pulled the pencil away, looked down at the drawing. A smile appeared, satisfied, soft. But then his expression shifted. Something caught his eye, unfamiliar, unexpected. Around her neck, in the drawing, a small bear pendant, perfectly sketched, without intention. He frowned, confused. Why did I draw that? His fingers hovered over the page, and then a flash. Quick, faint, a memory. A little girl, laughing brightly, her voice echoing, "Cookie, look." And just like that, gone, vanished, slipped away. Jungkook froze, his breath uneven, his hand moved to his head, holding it, trying to grasp it. What was that?